You are now tuned in to For the Culture Radio.
Renaissance Republic, another Phenom Phons creation. What we call this?
You are now tuned in to For the Culture Radio.
What in this world would you want to be? I told her, well, this is for the
Culture.
What in this world would you want to be? I told her, well, I told him it's the coach. I can't contribute to no system, be no crooked politician that educated and did your need. I know thyself, I know.
Yo, it's Ace Wallace, and this is For the Culture Radio. So, real quick, I'm sitting here with Phons the God, man, my longtime partner, and we're going to go into some deep conversations and you know what I'm saying, build real quick with y'all. Before we get started, though, I really want Phons to have a chance to give an introduction of who he is and what he brings to the table and what he's going to bring to this conversation.
Well, for many that know me, local, town, city born, authentic, Chicagoan, born and raised on the South Side. The many interests that I delve into, music being my passion, hill rap, on a mission to create a different sound, a different narrative.
Hill rap. Okay, keep going.
Also a crypto enthusiast. I teach financial literacy within the realm of DeFi and other realms of crypto and Web3. Also like to think of myself as a naturist, a cultivator, herbalist, Dr. Sebi baby. So those are the three most triangular, I'll say, hats that I wear, but that's just a small summary of who I am. But I'm much more than that too as well.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So yeah.
Well, I'm Mr. Ace Wallace, the neighborhood hope dealer. By day, I run a creative agency called Formula Creative. I also work with a great deal of brands, wearing some executive hats, and creative director. I hold creative director roles in a few brands.
He being modest, man.
So
you know what he is. You being modest.
Pretty much, man. What we gonna do is we gonna bring some deep insight to the culture. No, I'm a student of the game. I like to say that I'm a corporate thug. I'm professionally trained in visual communications, graphic design, marketing, and international communications. So I'd like to kind of extend some of the things I know and you know, some of my understanding of life to the people that's coming up.
But most importantly, what I believe what we offer also is just the age and what the direction we at. And more importantly, we just a voice for a certain demographic. You know?
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, I just want to add that.
No, hey, I love it. You're right.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into today's topic, and we, you know, admittingly so, we're kind of figuring out our strides, right? What we want to do is keep it short and sweet, and talk about some things that we feel are like for the culture and impactful, right?
Yeah, we ain't let shit slide though.
Not at all.
Yeah, we real culture defenders. Like, we the real resistance for real.
Hey,
so
but we gonna be conscious and inclusive of ulterior thought too, because alternative thought is what changes the conversation and ultimately changes what we need to fix the problem.
For sure.
You agree?
Oh man,
let's toast to that before we get started. All right, so we toasting to that. All right, so our topic for today is, and you said it earlier, you do hill rap, right?
Yes.
So we listening to Murderers. There was a guy that was on IG. I think you said it was, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play the clip for you all so we can kind of get right into today's conversation. But it was super interesting. This guy was basically, tell us about what he was, you know what I'm saying? Give us a little.
He was basically hitting on the narrative of just as a collective, you know, popular, when we go to our events or we celebrate or we go to these and we're having great times, the choice of music that we make, that we listen to, the genre of it is serial killer, murderistic music.
Right.
Even when we
he said psychopath music.
when we were pretty women, when we dining at fine places, right? We're listening to psychopathic
music,
mental illness music.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's listen to what he had to say real quick. And I'm going to play this remotely.
We really be in there trying to have a good time listening to 30 straight serial killer songs. Like, we really in there trying to have a good time and vibe out to murder music. We in there hypnotized. We damn somebody to violence. That's why we all in there on the verge of socking some shit. We keep listening to serial killer music. These young mad ass niggas
He right though.
Somebody with a switch. Man, 30 clip, slide, man. We in there drunk. We really hypnotized listening to this devil ass shit. I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't like some of the music, but it be like, man, how's we partying, trying to have a good time listening to murder music? This shit is psychopath shit, for real. Like, man, we gotta start switching it up, man. Something gotta change. The vibe be so off in some of the black clubs, man.
Wow.
We really be in there trying
to.
Yeah, that was profound, right?
Wow.
You know, when you really think about it. Yeah.
So let's touch on that. What did he, wow.
That's heavy.
So let's talk facts on that.
Because, like, honestly, what would you say would be the demographic of people actually, the consumers listening to it, they're actually out here committing murders. They actually are active and participating. You know, I could see it from a cult perspective, from a lifestyle that people live, and you being emotionally, you know what I'm saying, engaged into it. But we talking about the everyday, you know, your everyday bus drivers, your everyday teachers.
Right.
You get
your
me?
Common blue collar.
Yeah. Or professionals, young professionals, project managers, whatever you are. But 90% of the people listening to this music
are not doing any
never
of those
experienced
things.
any of these things. So, you know, I mean, I, in my educated guess, I would say it's a lack of demand versus supply, where it's like the people have lack of choice, because the artists that are in the forefront or who've been raised through a certain time before what I'm going to get into later, the decentralization of media, you know, it was a certain culture, it was a certain type of motif of artists that would get signed from these labels, ushering a certain sound.
Right.
So I would say that. You know what I'm saying? We from the rack, so we seen the Chief Keef and the drill. We seen this shit firsthand, but we was a little older in our generation coming up. You know what I'm saying? That was a little, we was in it, but it was a newer thing.
I think what you're kind of alluding to, like, is something that I thought about earlier, is like there's become a certain model that they sign, right? They are looking for that tribe leader, the person that can be the Pied Piper of the murderers, or the people that want to be the murderers.
The new Tyrone.
You
feel me?
You know? It's like, if you think about it, who are they? We were like, what is, and this is kind of getting right into our first thing, but we're like, what is the basis of like the major label signings right now? You know, who is the cookie cutter model? Who is the template? What is the template? What is, if they've had, because you know that there is a.
Well, the first template in the first order of business is to profit the most you can, right?
Right.
So if you get the artist who's more self-aware of his true value in himself, you know, not the thirsty, you know, so I don't want to say any names particularly, right? But say someone who just made a viral sensation, who you looking at someone financially situation was just at the bottom,
someone that you
of the
can
lower
manipulate.
class, and they vulnerable at this stage. You see what I'm saying? And they make a banger, you know, first hit. Now you could sign them for the low. It's like we buy, when we deal with crypto, we dealing with assets. We like to buy when the valuation is real low.
But I think
to profit the most.
I think
you lock them in early.
Well, I think I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go to that, I want to talk about the model.
Right.
I feel like we skipped over that.
We know
too
the
fast.
model.
But hold on.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to say is the model that they base their earnings off of, right? Like, it changes, right? So like you brought up Chief Keef, and I think this is something interesting for the people to know. That's the only reason why I slowed it down. When you bring up Chief Keef, there was a time, like there was an era where you heard 5, 6 Chief Keefs right after him, right?
Right.
Everybody had his style. Everybody was jocking that same drill. They even they developed a whole new drill culture in New York, right?
For sure.
All based around this one sound. So it leads me to believe, right, that they had, it's like they were recruiting the people who wanted to look like him, the ones who was promoting murderous activity, the ones who were.
But to his credit, though, it was good music too. It was a banger. You know, it was talent. It was raw talent. But you know, like Keith he was going through the situation with the law. So like from a public perspective, it was nice marketing because he was the real bad boy. You know,
right.
He lived up to that hype. So and he was talented. I'm like, let's just be 100.
He set the
fire
he set
music.
the president.
So it's like the beat, you got Chop going crazy.
I just want to speak to the model though. That's all I was saying.
But the model it's like, come on, it's fun music. It's like us. It's like, okay, I look at us like Lupe got a saying, and I know it might come advanced, might go over a lot of people's head, but are we operations or downloads?
Okay.
Like everybody operating on a certain software. The average person gonna receive the oh man, I just want to be fly, get high, fuck niggas, I'll kill you niggas, you know, play with me, you feel me?
Right.
Get money, jewelry, shined up, designer clothes. That's the appeal. So it's like when you pushing that sound, in which we like that shit when we younger. We want to get fly, that's what we thought. But then when you get older, you figure out there's more things. So I ain't mad. Every age group got
But I think that
that's the narrative though. Not no boring, not financial literacy, nobody talking real shit. We want to relax and have fun. We partying music.
But I think the narrative is not all like how you just said that, right?
Yeah.
I could agree that we had a lot of partying music like in the 2000s. I could agree that a lot of that, you know, there's a lot of times where like the narrative that's pushed to the masses, and that's why the labels and the majors are so powerful because they can push the narrative to the masses, right?
For sure.
Think about when the narrative was all positive.
Right.
Think about in the early 90s.
When was that?
When was that?
Yeah. Give me an example.
It was where EPMD, it was where Public Enemy, it was with Chuck D.
Okay,
it was the late 80s, early 90s. It was a time where we were using music as a tool and as a weapon against the machine. You know what I'm saying?
And
NWA, these are profound groups that was using music as a tool. But guess what? They got silenced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something to pay attention to.
At some time, the narrative changed.
Sometimes the narrative does, but see, why does? And that's what I wanted to
because
get to. The narrative changes because because it needs to be altered.
Because it was us first, right? It started as us organically,
right?
Then the corporation seen the profit potential,
exactly,
and they pushed their agenda, and they seen also. I'm going deep into say. Do you know how many scientific studies and they go thoroughly into deep research for the influence that hip hop has?
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, you know, we hear how Lamborghini don't pay for no marketing, but they in everybody's songs they get free marketing
exactly
from the best, most impactful marketing tool that you can use, which is hip hop. So
exactly,
I mean, they knew the power and the influence of that, so they premeditated a plan and an agenda, and I think they really hypothecated hip hop.
I believe that,
in my opinion. So,
hip hop has been, as I love Dame, right? Hip hop has been pirated.
I love Dame too. Shout out to Dame.
Shout out to Dame. We got to get Dame in the kitchen. I know we ain't.
Yeah.
Listen, Dame, we working. You know what I mean? But we authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Real,
and we a couple of degrees of separation away from you, so we're gonna make it happen soon. We're gonna speak that into existence.
For sure.
But because we ordained. But hip hop has been pirated.
Yeah.
And it's been subjugated to so many unethical studies, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that we don't really want to talk about, and that's why I wanted to see the model is predicated based on the negative aura of hip hop.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, we started it with the positive benefit.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It was a spread of information.
You know, and ain't that crazy how money and greed added to that pot can just change this. You know what I'm saying? Can create a whole new combination.
Because hip hop is art. Art ain't about money. You can't put a value on art.
You dig?
But what does the one who doesn't create the art or the spectator, you know, or the consumer does?
Right.
You know, it's like it's the term, it's draconian. You know what I mean? It's non-human like. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. This would
It's no
Hov
soul.
said.
It's like
these laws is draconian.
Yeah, they draconian.
They ain't human like.
They not.
They treating us like
anti.
You feel me?
So
because they don't see us as that.
Like hip hop come from pain, from suffrage, and then the universe just ushered that in.
They come from reflection.
Yeah, voicing our pain and what we go through, and it was so catchy. It's turning nothing to something. And shout out to hip hop. 50 years just passed us. Mm-hmm. This is in just 50 years. Look at the impact hip hop has. I asked you to explain what era was that for positivity, because what I relate it to and my past memory is Pac. Pac was still, giving us mama.
So
what nigga made a song about their mama?
Right. That
dominated the charts in this era. Do you think that could happen in this era? That speak to the testament, the demographic, how shallow or how real we are is really prioritizing real shit in our music.
Yeah.
Pac was a real one, and he put out Dear Mama. Mm-hmm. And that shit was a banger. Mm-hmm. Who could do that now? Everybody worry about fitting in. You feel me? Everybody
think about this, though.
It's different now.
I think I agree with you in the fact that, not in the fact, I agree with you in your opinion of Pac and how the respect was there.
Yeah.
For that type of for that type of vulnerability to be shown on the mainstream.
And let me just say, I'm sorry, I'm human, so if I can't remember everybody, I know it's ones before Pac, after Pac. Right. So I don't want to just discredit anyone.
No, but listen, to your credit, we asked what's your
triggered
that's your you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's your account of your first,
we
what
for
you
the culture, so I want to let the culture know. This not, but
that's
for sure.
It's all love. Shit, we want to know because I think that to be real with you, God, it was ones before you, but it's important for you to speak on who influenced you or who you identified with at that time. Yeah. Because for me, right, I didn't learn at that time personally. I didn't know about some of the artists that I just said, but after my further research of understanding, I kind of listened and was like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's think about it. I was, we 80s babies, so we wasn't, you know what I'm saying? The 70s, it was going crazy in the 90s. They kind of heard all the super early shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, when I really think back, I think about like Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my first thought, like Chuck D and, like the big Africa chains, the leather, you know what I'm saying? Like the cross colors.
I'm going to go back to, and I'm going to start with Rakim.
Right.
The God, the original God.
Yeah.
So that's hip hop East Coast. That's Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Flatbush, shout out. I hope I got the hoods right, but I love Brooklyn rap. Brooklyn, East Coast, Brooklyn rap was my favorite.
You could pass for a Brooklyn rapper, God.
Until I go there. Yeah, Chicago and say that until I go there. They know.
Out they know.
Gate, yeah, they know.
They gonna be like, nah.
Nah. But I feel what you mean, though. But my influence, like, shout out, like, Brooklyn, like, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Brooklyn storytellers. But
speaking of, go ahead, say it.
No, but I was finna touch the Rakim.
Yeah.
Of course, the Woo.
The Woo.
Yeah. Ghost.
Yeah.
That's what that real.
But and see, that's what I'm talking about. You see how you was when you really start thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
You could touch on some people, right? But see, I think that there was a common narrative amongst the players of the game at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we pushing this agenda. We are like it was damn near a meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, They on bullshit outside.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like how it was with Muhammad Ali and Sam Cooke and, you know, that meeting of all them
That's
back in the day.
COINTEL. You don't think they COINTEL hip-hop?
You dig?
You don't think they set their infrastructure? Like, shout out to my homie Q. I got to get Q on the cast. Q, co-project manager, young real estate guru. He's a project manager. He's important with delegate different tasks on a structure that's being built. Think about them as really taking over hip hop, where they dealt with the plumbing, the electricity, you know, like from the ins and out, the foundation, the framing. They really studied the real intricate details,
right,
and planned they takeover. They project managed. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
The takeover of hip hop for their corporate benefit and for them to profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they invested in the prison system as well.
Oh man, we left that out. Ooh. Drop a bomb. I mean, you know
what I'm saying?
That's one of
like
that mentality.
Like,
you are now tuned in to For the Culture Radio.
That's what they don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
See, this is the nitty gritty and why we got to be real careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We may have to, you know, we're going to be real careful, but at the same time, we're going to be real because we protected by the universe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no human alive provide no demonstration that can go against, you feel me?
Not the creator.
The creator. But we're going to get right back to it like I was saying. We have to understand that there really is a divine plan that was put in place. And you just touched on it. Like the infrastructure was built and it goes deeper. It's like the saying is deeper than rap. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm all about, inspiring people to go further in thought. Like I might not give you it all, but I'm going to give you enough to
captivate.
I'm gonna give you not even because I'm gonna give you enough to entice you. I'm gonna give you enough to entice you enough to where you just like, man, I want to know more about what he's talking about. Let me go look a little bit more into this, and that's what I want to specialize in here because I don't want to ostracize nobody. I don't want to make no enemies. You understand?
For sure.
But I do want to provide insight.
We is for the culture, and you will catch shots.
We are for the culture.
For the culture.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Ain't no passiveness. No. This ain't the time to be passive.
We're gonna address information,
but we're gonna be respectable.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be very conscientious of how we go about it. But we gotta protect the because if you don't, you know the great saying, if you don't stand for anything, you fall for. I mean, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So we gotta, that's that's natural part of evolution, right? You know,
right.
It's
so getting back to my
preserving
point real
culture.
Quick.
But go ahead.
That was our brief disclaimer for y'all.
Yeah.
There is it's deeper than rap for real.
Yeah.
There's a real plan that's put in place outside of music. There's a plan that it's a multi-dimensional plan. It crosses into several barriers of society.
Exactly.
From our economic structure to our housing structure to our psychological structure,
exactly,
to our educational structure,
and
our legal structure.
Yes.
If we understand that those 5 areas, right, were thought about and planned with negative intention towards people of hip hop and people that are affected within hip hop of the urban communities, then we are fools. If we don't believe that this was orchestrated. And we need to understand that, and this is the wormhole that I want people to go down. I want you all to look into the pipeline to prison construct.
Yeah, shout out to the author.
I forget
got her name.
The pipeline to prison construct though.
Alexander.
Go down that wormhole. Go down that rabbit hole. Okay? And start to learn how we are ushered.
This actually exists. This is actually This is acting now. This is now.
This is now. This ain't nothing. This is and let me say this. This is not speculation.
Brown, melanated, black.
Right. This is something that's going on right now in today's day and time.
Babies right now. Yeah.
Right. I want you all to look into the investment of the new redlining.
Yeah.
I want you all to look into that. Right? Because redlining was a tactic used to keep us out of so many growing infrastructures within this United States. We were just kept out of places to live, right? Yeah. But that string, I want you, and these are just little tidbits I want you to go down, because right now, a lot of those same people who were investors in those real estate deals that kept us out of those situations, they profited and they reinvested into the same institutions that we're talking about, but through different systems.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I didn't establish the prison, but I established the manufacturer of the mortar or the concrete that built the prison.
Yes. I mean,
it's the Internet of Things, but the internet. I'm going a little too far.
Yeah, we're not going to deviate, but we know. I forgot the saying on the exact percentage, but we know how many actual corporations. I forgot. It's a couple corporate that own everything. Just to sum it up, it's like they own 90% of actual business in different subcategories,
just like
different
Pfizer.
Subsidiaries.
Like how some of these companies own 50, 100 different brands up under one thing. They making all the soaps. They making everything.
I was so conscientious of this information, but when you entertain it too much, you can't move forward. So I like to kind of not forget, but I'm not going to entertain. I'm going to entertain positivity and solutions moving forward. Hey,
yeah, you don't want it to weigh you down.
You don't want to weigh it down. But I used to know these things like Jeopardy, like trivia, but so I get what you said basically, because people don't realize how one group of people have so much control, or a couple minority of people over the masses. Yeah, so that's real, and that permeates through different types of control, different systems, different organizations, different industries.
That's what I want to be understood.
So yeah, and that's very real. But like going back on what you were saying with hip hop, man, and just the state of how it was controlled, it's just for us to give to the youth. Like I said, like our whole mission statement for the culture is to be that voice, or that perspective, or that maturity for the young brothers coming behind us, the young gods behind us.
Yeah.
So we could give y'all that mature setup, and that perspective that you lack, so you could prepare.
Exactly.
And it's not enough of that. It's coming to the forefront now. But from my perspective, as two Southside Chicagoans, you just realize that when you out there and you party and whatever you into, please don't let these people influence you.
Right. Because
the young boy, 15, 16, toting guns, 30 poppers on them. Before you do this senseless, heinous act, like, look at the Pooh Shiesty result, the outcome for him. Look at these things Thug and all them going through. It's not worth it, bro.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And you looking at a marginalized society. So you set up because you marginalized extremely.
Exactly.
So they got all of the resources to cook you. You're not a benefactor of this. So you consume hip hop and do it responsibly is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be, I got a son, we got son, we fathers. So that's why we thinking like this too. This is why you feel me?
Yeah.
But I still love Eb. I love all of hip hop. I'm not a hater at all.
Right.
I listen to this shit too, but I do peep a imbalance in our ecosystem. You see what I'm saying? That's why, man, tune in to LFK. Listen to the project I'm working on coming up, The Phenomena. It's loading. And I give you a diversity of, it's not corny. We still gonna turn up. We still gonna do what we do, but it's conscious grown man rap. You feel me?
Yeah.
And grown individual in that luxury, that sophisticated, that regal rap. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think you said a good thing though, man. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that are being affected by this music, but it's a lot of people that's not doing it.
The
90%
babies,
of the people,
the shorties. That's why I care for, man. Y'all think, man. I'm hollering at y'all like an OG hollering at y'all, bro. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Just like Wallow, like the Wallow Gilly, that energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for real. And then that's just what it is. Cause I mean, honestly, it's the social media era that's pressure.
Yeah.
And I realize it because we didn't grow up in that era.
You know, I think speaking to social media real quick, and in terms of music and just culture, period, social media is putting a lot of pressure on people, I think. A lot of pressure on, let me speak specifically to teenagers and the young folks. It's putting a lot of pressure on them to be older than what they are. Yeah, the materialism is affecting them. And so it's like you can't tell the difference between the 14-year-old and the 34-year-old. It's like they wearing the same lace front. They got the same makeup. They got the same poses. It's the same. It's like there's
optics. It's optics.
Yeah, it's all optics. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a play on optics, you know? And yeah, but it's people prioritizing it now a little bit unhealthily, you know?
I mean,
it's
but
cool to use to get your money and you know, I mean, everything in everything in proportion is cool. And that's what I try to tell my son.
Yeah.
Even though he's not that age or my people around me, but everything. So it's cool, but it's just like it's an overdosage, bro. It's like it's really an addiction.
Yeah. And
at this point,
and I think
because I catch myself just scrolling.
Man,
that scrolling shit is real. My brain just get numb, and I just lock in like a that's crack.
Yeah,
that's mental crack.
And I think the music is crack to some of the
the music is crack. Because
these shorties, you notice a lot of them, they just stay locked into the music all day.
Man, I seen shorty
a shorty, literally.
We at the pro-am, shorty walking, he playing some Herbo, 445, nigga, yeah. I'm down, shorty. We crossing the street. He in public. He in it though.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I mean, I know the energy you referencing. Let me rephrase.
Shorty was locked in on Herb. Shout out to Herb, but he was really, he was going crazy. He looking at motherfuckers. Oh, all right.
Don't let that music.
Don't let that music. Young ass.
Don't let it go to your head. No,
real quick. Yeah, but no.
But that's a great segue, though,
it's a cult, man. That's their shit.
We got to be careful. So I think the lesson of the day is, and we want to start, the last thing we want to talk about, we're going to jump into Irv Gotti real quick. That's the last piece we're going to talk on, man.
We spent a little more time on hip-hop, but shout out to hip-hop because it's the 50-year anniversary.
50-year anniversary. So the moral on hip-hop is consume hip-hop and do it responsibly.
Yes. It just know, don't let it send you off, young God.
You know what I mean?
Young goddesses.
It's music. It's just like
music. Feel good, but it ain't like those separated from your reality.
And I think it's okay to listen. It's your big homie talking, man. It's okay to live vicariously
for sure
through some of your favorite rappers. Because guess what? They living vicariously through some of their favorite gangsters. So don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so true, man.
That's just how it is, man. Like a lot of the stories that you hear,
era was real.
Man.
That's all I'm
saying. A lot
of
your favorite rappers are living vicariously through their favorite hitters or their favorite, you know what I'm saying, gangsters in the hood. And it's cool.
Oh, that was
Live vicariously through your favorite rapper because they probably living vicariously through their favorite too, my nigga. But just getting back to it real quick, we gonna finish up with our last little spiel. This called our little pop topic. Something just popped in, scrolled up. I scrolled up real quick and just, you know what I'm saying, found something that was going. Found something that was going on. Let me see what I find. My notes here. Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti on Drink Champs and Ashanti. So listen, first of all, I'm gonna just jump real quick into it and say this because I'm an opinionated person, right? And I'm gonna give a disclaimer. I'm I'm like God powered. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about people's opinions or feelings. I'm gonna let it ride.
You
know?
unbothered.
I'm standing on it.
Feel me?
Irv Gotti. I don't know if we ever have no business deals. We never had no business deals in the past. I don't know of this brother at all. But you coming off a little odd. You know? A little odd. Yeah. And I understand, and real quick, let me just get this off. From a business standpoint, I understand capitalism. I understand the reason for being in business. I understand retaining assets, valuable assets. Right? But sure. I also understand morals, respect, and fairness. Right? And within those things, within those realms, I feel like
you crossed the line.
You crossed some different lines. Now I'm gonna say this as
well.
well.
You moving different, maybe.
And I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna say this. Every opinion is given here, right?
Yeah.
Is all my opinions are informed based on what I've seen, what I've read, I don't know you personally.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you from our account. And I think that if you are a fair guy, that
it's things we're not gonna know. Like, I'm not gonna get personal because it's things I don't know.
Right.
What I didn't listen to the whole Nori Drink Champs sit-in with Irv, but I did listen to the remarks that the media did for the highlights of what he was saying, and there was some pretty wild assumptions versus Shanti. So I don't know, because really I don't give a fuck, to be real. So I'm not finna delve into people really what they relationships of past was.
It's not real quick. It wasn't even, because I want to keep us in context. It's not even about their personal relationship. I want to
especially with men and women, because you just don't know what happened.
Right. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I'm not getting that shit messy, and that shit ain't
let's
real.
Make that clear.
I'm not finna speak on that.
Let's make that clear. We're not talking about your relationship.
What I want to speak on
is
the business side of this, and awareness of artists ushering in, and how times are changing. Because he made a statement in which I was just listening. It's like I necessarily don't disagree, because from a business standpoint, it's a he's a capitalist, and you're in America and make your money, get your money. Because at that time, you can exploit artists. In the time that Rule and Shanti came up, there was more vulnerabilities within that. So when he said the statement, I don't know if you're familiar, he said, "I never let go masters." That's all I got. That's what I could sell. That's what I got that's valuable. That is my most decorated asset that I possess. It's my artist masters. But what I didn't like, and the question came from the journalist, or the interviewer said, "Hey, will you be willing to break off a certain portion to look out for your artist if you own 100%?" He said, "Ja Rule, I'll look out," but Shanti, like, basically just didn't comment on her, then speak up for her, say he'll pay her anything to fairly compensate her. But he spoke up for Rule and said he'll hit Rule or take care of Rule with a portion, of the profits. Right. So, and like I say, I'm not gonna get messy. So I just want to speak to the future youth artists and what that does and the opportunity you have in today now with the different independent publishing and streams, and how you never should compromise your masters. Or how, if you do have the money, it's too much knowledge, it's too much game that we're going to be giving away on for the culture, on how you could set up with credit specialists, get your funding for your EIN, for your own record label, sign your masters, own yourself, and do business responsibly. And I mean, like, for me, with his personal situation, I don't like abusers, toxicity, but bro come off bitter too, though. He come off hurt. He come off scarred. In a sense, with that situation with Ashanti. You feel me? All day. Yeah. All day. But I don't know, because I don't like to not properly evaluate a situation and get my fight night opinion on it.
I don't like to give my I like to just be forefront
he
with the fact
did move a little crazy. Not to cut you off, because he moved crazy with the comments he did say. It seemed real. I wouldn't go about it that way.
It's a bit uncouth.
I wouldn't go about it that way.
And let me give you my opinion. Let me give you my opinion of this.
Too much success. It's too much life.
From a CEO to another CEO. I personally think that it was a bit uncouth in the manner that he handled it.
This nigga said uncouth.
there is
Let me look that up. But nah, go ahead, God. Nah,
feel free, God. Feel free. Would you like me to give you the definition?
I love that. That's what we do for the culture too. We're gonna exercise your vocabulary. Let's go.
No, I feel like he was a bit uncouth. I feel like he could have had a bit more. And it's not just the first time. I feel like Irv Gotti as a CEO could have a bit more tact. And I know that at times we don't want to necessarily, especially as black CEOs or indigenous CEOs, we don't want to fit in that box or feel like we have to speak a certain way or, do that. And we should be able to be comfortable and be ourselves in the positions that we're in. However, right, you still are the chief executive officer. Right. You are a representation of a brand. You don't just stand for Irv Gotti.
You know, the moguls of music had a run.
Yeah, but hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Because we love to be addressed as CEOs. We love to be given the power of the, Dane will tell you right now that certain European people that are in power don't have any insight on hip hop because they don't come from it.
For sure. And they don't. Yeah.
But guess what? Why are they in the positions that they are in? And why are they in executive position? Why are they in those powerful positions? Because they have the qualifications. They have the qualifications in the corporate realm. They know how to speak the language. They know how to get the deals done. Right. And sometimes let me rephrase that. Oftentimes people like Dane, people like Irv, don't get the slot, don't get the opportunities because they don't have that other side, right?
Exactly. Now,
and I think that Irv, who does have the insight on and does have, all that full package, he needs to exercise that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because you representing this brand and you sounding, as you said, bitter, in my opinion. He comes off a bit bitter because
so many
he's
years
not
removed from that situation too. You got to think time is the heal of all things. So it's like I would think you ain't dealt with baby girl in a while, so it should be,
Yeah.
But
if you gonna
unless whatever happened between them, I don't know. Unless it was a rough, some real drastic occurred in their separates.
Whatever it was, it's given
but
it's not given. I don't like that term. These women got me saying this shit, man. God damn, all this fucking is. Did you hear me say that
they
shit?
Got you saying?
Pause. That it's given. Get the fuck out of here. All these. I'm so tired of these goddamn phrases. That's.
I haven't heard that one.
You ain't heard that one?
Nah, I ain't too stewed on that one. It's given. Oh, it's giving me. You talking about when they go like that, like it's giving me this vibe.
But they be like,
it's giving this vibe.
They be putting that shit on everything. It's giving dog. It's giving the bitch's face is giving dog. Like, whatever the fuck. But anyway, all that shit.
Pervious to.
No disrespect to y'all because don't come for us.
So
man.
Women think it's cool. Let the women got their swag.
They got their swag, man. Women do get their own swag,
their own
man.
communication,
women got their own
language,
own lingo.
Yeah, for sure.
But like we said, man, we want to make sure that the people that are coming up, the
artists
that's coming through right now understand that, be careful on the situations that you deal with.
Who you deal with, bro, and be conscientious on what you're signing, man.
And be conscious of the personal relationships that you have with some of these people, man, because sometimes people just don't know how to separate the business from, and I'm not insinuating that that's what it is with Irv, you know what I'm saying? It just, in my opinion, that's how it come off a little bit.
Basically just admitted, I'm straight because I own these masters. And that's cool that he started the label, you run the company. I mean, it's still aspects to what you financing, financing videos, production, studio time. I'm gonna tell you, you earned your money. I'm not saying anybody didn't earn it.
Yeah.
But I just want to say now, like the medium has changed on how you could go about things. I'm not like, if I was an artist at that same time period as those artists, I would have did the same thing to get notoriety.
But you know what Irv's argument probably is too?
What's that?
It'd probably be like, when you go ask some of these European CEOs.
Yeah, who really
for your
fucking,
for your masters back
with no Vaseline.
You know, and they got 150 people just like you whose masters like when you ask them about their shit and they don't even return your call. Like, do you go on fucking social media and blast them? Do you go on the fucking Drink Champs? Do you go on the podcast and talk shit about? Because let me be honest. That's another
point. That's a great point you raised.
Because I told y'all I'm gonna keep it real funky with y'all because see, this is the difference in what. See, I'm gonna keep it funky.
That's the whole narrative when you're a black business and the respect you get in with black people when you deal with your. We know.
And see, that's what we going.
We know,
and that's what we want to talk about real quick because I'm gonna keep it. If we gonna keep it a buck, let's keep it all the way a buck.
All the way.
Are you treating your black CEOs as you're treating the European CEOs? Are you calling up to Vivendi? Are you calling Lior?
You pulling the Ice Cube?
Are you
you going up there fucking up shit?
You feel me? Just be honest, because
you know
I'm gonna be careful how I talk. Y'all who know, you know. Are you flying over there to France?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You going to you going to Paris getting an eye full? You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't, because I'm gonna just be real with you. Like a lot of y'all coming at some of our CEOs, and I'm gonna let y'all know the truth about your business. No disrespect to Ashanti at all. I fuck with your music, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, no matter who you are.
Yeah,
you got to understand your contracts.
For sure,
you got to understand your business. You got to make sure that you're putting people in place. And sometimes we don't even understand that we have the ability to put precursors in place to protect ourselves for the future. A contract can be rewritten tomorrow.
Right.
If you want me, I could put something in my contract to say, man, you know what? In 10 years, in 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, I want to revisit this.
Right.
This is it, and we gotta stop. We gotta stop
blindly.
We gotta
obligated.
stop. Listen. Push back from the table and stop eating the bullshit that they feeding you all the time. Everything that somebody gives you ain't nutritional. Every piece of food ain't nutritional.
But I will say, every generation comes with its sacrificial lambs, and that generation learns what exploitations will, existed and how to move from that. So I'm not going to all the way fault those artists at the time because hip-hop is only 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
50. It's an infant. So it's going to be bumps and things to incur and know how to go about that.
I agree with you.
So, but and like I say, the whole narrative, the whole originating topic back on Irv in the comments is just artists responsibly know times have changed, it's shifted. We shouldn't, other than you having not, I understand being an artist and don't want to be involved in the management and the record business side of things if you just want to focus on your art and roll out, but you still should have your art because it takes really minimal effort to have that package in a manner where you're the most profitable and you do retain a dominant percentage of your publishing and masters.
And I want to talk about that real quick because and this is going to be kind of reserved. This is a part of the conversation that we'll start.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a conversation eventually about 360 deals versus others.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know that's something a lot of people really want to get some insight on. They're very opinionated on. So when we talk about, running your own situation pretty much in terms of what you're talking about, like pretty much being your own label, right? Retaining your own masters, listing your own self on the DSPs, doing all these different things, right? I think that that's an amazing capability that we have.
For sure.
However, I do feel like the label puts a battery in your back, and we can't just
the label is
immensely discount what the label.
Yeah, the label has a
you.
lot of benefits in itself. Yeah, for sure.
And I think that that's where we have to find a happy medium. I think that they're the beautiful.
To me, the label is a motivating factor. Like you go in, you see the office, you see the prestige of it. But like if you're self motivated,
right,
you don't need that shit. But if you could, or finances though, if you're stable. You have stable income and you're okay. You got a little money to play with to invest in yourself. You don't have to go broke.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to have the marketing dollars. That's what the label and the connections. But it's so many ways to get creative. There's so many things offered to you. The access of services is so much more easier than what it has been. So you don't. It's all about you. So, and that's why I say the label is cool for the old motif for the artists that we originally was talking on the beginning of the main our intro topic. You know, most of these niggas want to smoke weed, get paid. You know, have somebody else handle that shit.
Yeah,
yeah. You don't want to wear that hat. But if you could wear that hat, you're gonna be a lot more profitable though. The money you're thinking about you.
Well, maybe. Depending on because
if you if you make it, you gotta make it.
If you gotta make it. You know what I'm saying?
But if you make it, if you become that young Dolph,
right?
You hear me? If you be that Dolph,
yeah.
If you be that, you know.
But this the thing. It's two things. Two things I want to speak on when you say that be the Dolph,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, shout out rest in ancestors.
Rest in power. Man, two things I want to speak on. You are absolutely right. You will collect the bag, but you will have to put in a lot of the work. You have to do what like
what's work though?
Let me finish. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with work, but it's about the selective work that you have to do.
Yeah.
Because and understand everybody not equipped to do the same jobs. Okay. Just because you have the money and the time don't mean that you have the expertise or you're the right person to fit into the position.
I'm going to tell you, I'm an artist, so I'm going to speak from an artist's perspective. And this is what's so unique because I'm an artist who I consider myself need the exposure. I'm hungry. I'm on the grind. You know, I took my craft serious lately. I'm not where I want to be at. So this is cool, like to get it from right now, while I'm at the stage of developing my career. But listen, at this point, what I feel like was so affording about the new opportunity as you as an artist is even with you saying you might not be comfortable, you can't wear the many hats of an owner. Well, guess what? I do practice with myself. Renaissance Republic is my label. I am a solo act. I'm not focused on nobody fucking else.
Mm-hmm.
So as an artist, guess what? You don't have to be a micromanager of different talents. You could solely invest that label and that in you. You are a one-man show. And then once you get your shit together, then you can explore those other options and maybe hire the help for that. But in the beginning, It's like I love music. That's my therapy. So it's, okay, I pay for my little videos, you know, pay for my marketing. I'm going to pay in the studio. I'm going to keep paying my cover art. You know, I'm going to keep posting, keep my content bag heavy. That's really the key. It's just ushering and keeping fresh and a bag of content. And however you can creatively go about that, because you don't have to always spend a bag depending on relationships or skills that you might self-acquire, you know?
Yeah.
And so what I say is to the point that you have a unique opportunity where it's like if you're passionate yourself, if you got that drive, because you know you want to make an impact. You want to be the star. You know you addicted to this life that you want. Then you could just solely invest and focus on you and be passionate about that as a one act, one artist label.
Yeah,
that's how cold it is right now.
No, you're right,
and that's what I'm on personally.
I feel you.
Right.
I just wanted to, and I agree that you can do that. In terms of people like Young Dolph, though, when we talk about super successful independent artists.
And Dolph kind of was that, other than Key Glock. He had, you know.
Yeah, but Key Glock, but see, I want to talk about I've heard their opinions. You know, they've spoke on running independent labels, right? And it's not the cakewalk that a lot of people think.
Oh, hell no.
When you run, what I'm trying to express is that when you're running your independent situation and you don't have that label there, the money is way better. But there's a lot of work that got to get done. Even if you're not the person that's doing the work, it got to get done.
How you
right?
help? Yeah.
Now, see, this is the thing. It's a lot of people don't realize that just like any successful business, right? If you are going to an investor, what do you need to do? What's the best thing you can do for an investor? Show them your profit model. How you making money, right? Man, I made $1 million doing this. I need X, Y, and Z from you to make more money, and then I'm gonna give
10
you.
mil.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So guess what? That's exactly how I feel like a lot of us need to look at the label structure. But I feel honestly that some of us do, and some of us just don't have the wherewithal to do so, because a label has 235 people in a situation that's able to wear various hats to complete this task and get it done.
Most definitely.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. You might have 5 of your people, but guess what? This is my thing. And I'm going to finish with this. Mm-hmm. This is my thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Young homies out there, artists, you don't need 200 people, right? Mm-mm. But you need to set the infrastructure, the same infrastructure that the label has before you have the 200 people working for you.
Right.
Because guess what? If there's 5 departments that need to be covered, right?
Right.
If in your independency, just like you said, you pay for your cover art, you pay for your studio time, you pay for your videos, you pay for your wardrobe, you pay for your marketing. Mm-hmm. Just say those 5 areas right there. Mm-hmm. Before you get a label, you need to have those things established. You need to have a plan on how you're going to set up a budget for these things, how you're going to execute on them weekly or whatever, all those things, right? And then when the label comes along, what do? They plug into your machine.
Exactly.
And they make it bigger. They amplify it. And I think that's all that I'm trying to pull out of this conversation in terms of, hey, it's nothing wrong with doing your independent thing.
For sure.
But make sure that you set yourself up for success.
Yeah, you get co-managed. You could get co-managed deals.
Or just
rub elbows.
Whatever you do. But just look at what the label's doing and say, who is my marketing department? Who is my art department? And run like L.A. Russell, we was just talking about. Not to cut you off. But he's essentially...
Shout out to L.A. Russell.
He's essentially created his own...
That's what I learned a lot from bro. Me personally, just like his little short snippet in his reels, because what it's about ultimately, and I was gonna follow up and say it's about educating yourself, bro. Just equipping you, just not get off your mental ass. Like, don't be mentally lazy. I say mental ass because it don't require no physical labor. It's just for you to just get interested enough and self-educate yourself, bro, and then you self-reward. That's what anything.
Yeah.
And but L.A. Russell, though, through the trials and through his success, but he offered a lot of insight. And, he was speaking on the Rock Nation deal that they offered him.
Okay. In
terms of how they went about it. But he had, has a nice influence. Or I don't know what his metrics, what data they was using.
Yeah.
But I know he's doing his own thing. Right now. I forgot the name of his good company. And he got his own movement going. And I mean, I know he's not regretting it.
Right.
And it was a disrespectful offer. Like they played with him and they set him just to see what he will say, how vulnerable, how...
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And that's the game that they play on. Is to see how thirsty.
Yeah, like, man, take nothing.
That's the nature of the game, though. So I'm not...
see what he'll do.
Yeah. See what
see if he's thirsty. Tell him nothing and see how thirsty he is, right?
Because we, he got a base, he killing, he hot. We could profit off that. We could build that up and we could get in that low.
Aye.
We call that a 100x gym in crypto.
You feel me?
We 100x those.
You feel me?
Yeah. So
listen, this is the moral of that story is educate yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Always remember that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. No. And what that simply means is just because you don't know the law don't mean that it doesn't affect you. No. So these people, just like we talk about the Irv Gotti situation, these CEOs is holding these masters. You sign the contract. That's a law. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So educate yourself. Don't get fucked over. Take the real time to get around people who know more than you. Surround yourself with people that know more than you. Right? And if you're deficient in something, if you don't know something, if you're struggling in an area,
There's too many outlets for you to get that answer to right now.
Man,
so much love. And we the culture, so we got it for you.
Whatever area you struggling in, identify it. Yeah. That's the thing. Make sure you understand like where your problem areas are so that you can tackle it. You know what I'm saying? Find a mentor, find some resources in order to educate yourself so that you're not getting fucked. But yeah, moral of the story is consume hip hop and do it responsibly. Again, man, this is a dope talk, bro.
It's been a dope soul, man. I think we right at,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where we at, so.
Listen, God, I was already,
all right. I ain't know, you know, so we cool. I know we going to edit out. We can play organically, but, you know, yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's Mr. Ace Wallace, your neighborhood hope dealer.
It's Phenom Phons, phenomenal loading, man. YouTube music, Phenom Phons official music. Instagram at Phenom Phons. Go, man, listen to that LFK, Letter from the King, and a phenomenal loading. The culture.
You are now tuned in to For the Culture Radio.
Take y'all out on the record real quick.
One in this world, what you wanna be? I told him it's the coach. I can't contribute to no system, be no crooked politician that educated and did your need. I know thyself, I don't subscribe to the ground. I'd rather sit back and shine internally with.
You want to rap along to this real quick?
No, I ain't gonna rap it. I thought you was gonna just fade it. No, I ain't no performer.
I already did it.